Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might and or most likely will not match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. Just be respectful in the comment section. Thank you. And as always, possible spoiler warning ahead. Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about Citrus. Now, this one is actually kind of interesting for me personally, just because this is to the only anime that I have ever watched that I read the manga before the anime existed. So, that's different. I have never done that before, but Citrus is on the tiny list of manga that I have actually gotten through, I've just barely started to dip my toes into the manga world, and I've been an anime fan for quite a few years at this point. And I've been an anime fan for a long time, and the time is nigh, so I've been trying to get into manga. I'm finding it less easy to navigate than anime, but that's probably just my inexperience. It's hard to find where to read it. It's hard to figure out what is just like fan fiction type of like, you know, it's hard to tell what's like a published one where you could go buy it versus what is like more like a fan fiction style where a fan made it. It's really hard for me to figure out what's what. So eventually I'll figure it out. But anyway, not the point. So this is the only anime that I've ever watched that I read the manga first. So a long while back, before I think there is 4 volumes or something of the manga, I think I read 3 of them, and at the time the last one was not out yet. So then I had to wait, and then eventually I checked back in a lot of months later, and the 4th one was out. So then I reread the whole series because it's been so long that I didn't remember. I reread the series, and then I was like, oh man, that was a great manga. Let me write it down. So I wrote it down that I should totally buy it because it's really good. And then a long while later, the anime came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, they made Citrus into an anime. I'm so excited. So I waited until the last episode was all the way out, because I watch every anime I ever watch pretty much. I always watch when it's all the way released, because I hate waiting for like a week to go by for another one episode. You know what I mean? So I will wait, even if the anime is killer and everyone's saying it's the greatest, I will wait until it's all the way out, and then I will watch it, because if it's good, odds are there's a good chance I'll binge watch it. So anyway, so this one came out in the winter 2018 season, so it is pretty recent. So this would be the tail end of last year, and so it's not that old. It's more on the recent side of things. So it's been a little bit since we did a positive anime review, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty on this whole procedure, just because I haven't done one since Candy Boy, I think, was my last positive anime review, and that was before my cruise, and so I'm a little bit rusty. So if it's not as clear and concise as it usually is, then I do apologize. But of course, I am getting back into the whole recording game. Actually, gaming has been like that for me too, that I really feel like I'm really rusty. Like I'm having to really relearn things, so that's kind of weird. But anyway, so obviously we are reviewing Citrus. It did air in winter of 2018. I do not know if there is a dub of this anime. If there is, I should definitely check it out. But I really don't know. I know there's a sub, of course, but I don't know if there's a dub. Anyway, so of course we will start with the synopsis, because it is the perfect way to sum up the anime, and it's a lot easier than having to wait for me to describe it. Anywho, so let's do this. During the summer of her freshman year of high school, Usuai Hara's mother remarried, forcing her to transfer to a new school. To a fashionable socialite like Yuzu, this inconvenient event is just another opportunity to make new friends, fall in love, and finally experience a first kiss. Unfortunately, Yuzu's dreams and style do not conform with her new ultra-strict all-girls school, filled with obedient shut-ins and overachieving grade skippers. Her gaudy appearance manages to grab the attention of Usuai Hara, the beautiful and imposing student council president, who immediately proceeds to essentially caress Yuzu's body in an effort to confiscate her cell phone. Thoroughly exhausted from her first day, Yuzu arrives home and discovers a shocking truth. Mei is actually her new stepsister. Though Yuzu initially tries to be friendly with her, Mei's cold shoulder routine forces Yuzu to begin teasing her. But before Yuzu can finish her sentence, Mei forces her to the ground and kisses her, with Yuzu desperately trying to break free. Once done, Mei storms out of the room, leaving Yuzu to ponder the true nature of her first kiss and the secrets behind the tortured expression in the eyes of her new sister. Well, there you go. As if that's like... You wanted a plot? There it is. Okay, so obviously this is a Yuri anime. That should be no surprise. I really got to figure out the difference between Yuri and Shoujo Ai. I think is how you would pronounce it. Sorry if that's not how you would pronounce it. But to my understanding, they're both basically Yuri. They're both basically the same thing. But I gotta, is there a difference between them? Should I be calling Yuri Shoujo Ai? I like saying Yuri because it's easy to pronounce, and I'm a white boy, so it is easier to pronounce for me. But maybe I should be maybe that's technically inaccurate. I don't know if there is a difference between them. So if there is, I'm sorry. Anyway, so as far as rating is concerned, this anime is probably PG-13. Is probably fine. There's a fair amount of kissing and a fair amount of caressing, but it's fairly clean. I would probably give it a PG-13, but I would probably give it a older crowd audience for sure. But yeah, I think it's probably a PG-13 is fine. So as far as the genre, of course, it is a Yuri or Shoujo Ai, depending on how you would pronounce that. It is a drama and a romance, so that's no surprise as well. So this anime is very good, but there is a fair amount of drama to it. So there's pretty much a pretty clear line between different kinds of anime. There is your fluffy anime, and then there is your more serious anime. Now, Shoujo Ai anime or Yuri anime is no different. Obviously, we have reviewed, and I have, of course, seen fluffy, Yuri type of anime, like Sakura Trick. It's very fluffy. There's, no real drama to speak of, and it's just fluff, and it's adorable, right? Well, this one is definitely on the more serious side of things, and far more. There's a fair amount of drama. There's a lot of drama in this anime. So if you are looking for one that's incredibly fluffy and just nothing but happiness, I would probably encourage you to maybe skip it if you are not a drama person. The drama isn't the worst thing ever. I have seen other anime that torture you as the viewer with a crazy excessive drama. This is not as bad as all that. Some of it, it's a little heavy, but because that's how drama is, but it does pass, and it does have a happily ever after. So if you were worried about that, then fear not. So as far as season length is concerned, it is a 12 episode anime, which is of course my favorite type. The episode length, they're all exactly what you'd expect, whatever, 23 minutes. So it was exactly what you would expect episode wise, but it is 12 episodes long, so it's a pretty quick watch. And if you're like me, you could get through it pretty quick. I got through it in a few days, and I could get through it a lot faster if I just sat down and marathoned it. But just watching a few episodes every day gets me through it in a few. So anyway, but it is really, really good. So, and as far as anything important after the closing song, there is nothing important. It is just preview for the next anime. So if you are worried about missing anything, if the ending song hits, you are feel free to leave if you want to, because there is nothing incredibly important afterwards. It's just a preview for the next episode. So going into our character section, there is not a crazy amount of characters. There is a lot of supporting characters. So I will hit the important characters you should know about, and a lot of everything else I'll probably skip a lot of the crazy supporting characters. Anyway, so let's get into it. Now, one thing that I did mention, I think in Candy Boy, maybe in that one, so it's been pointed out to me recently that it's a little confusing when I just read out the character list without giving you any kind of context. So I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, in the last review I did arrows pointing to who was who. I'm pretty sure. And so in this one, I will either, if I can find a good picture of a solo picture of them, maybe I'll do that. Or if it's too complicated, I will just get out a group picture and do the arrow thing again. It will just depend on how that works out. But regardless, I will make sure to do some way of telling you who I'm talking about, because I do want it to be easy and concise for you guys and not confusing unnecessarily. So let's get into it. Okay, so our first character is Usuai Hara. She is, of course, a main character. The whole anime pretty much follows from her point of view, where basically it's following her, and it's about her and Mei, of course, but it more follows her than anyone else. So she is the main character. She is the blonde, character that you are seeing either on screen or with an arrow, and she is a very caring person. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe her. So she's a very caring person, and on the surface she's very like she's very social. She loves that whole scene. Before she moves, she like lies to her friends that she like, that she knows all about a guy, and she's like really, she dates a lot and all that stuff. She's all on top of the whole thing. But in real life, she's never done any of that. And so she's like really looking forward to chasing down a boyfriend or whatever, getting her first kiss, all of that jazz. And so that kind of weighs heavily on her, and that's what she wants to do. But she's a happy person. She's really, 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 really caring. And so a lot of everything that happens tends to weigh heavily on her throughout the anime as drama goes on, and it really kind of eats her up in a lot of times because she really cares about her friends and loved ones and family and all of that jazz. But she's a good person, and there's a lot of the drama you feel so sad for, though. You're just like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so she is that blonde main character. Really quick, something this anime does really cool with its characters that I really, really like is in a lot of anime, characters don't change the way they look. And so it doesn't bother me very much, but like, realistically, you would wear something different occasionally. Well, a lot of anime, this anime does it where there's a lot of little times where the characters' appearances will change based upon what they did that day. So, as an example, Yuzu changes her hairstyle. So lots of times throughout the anime, her hair is always different. It's different a lot of the time, and it's a very little detail, but I liked it because it was more realistic that you wouldn't do the same thing every day. I mean, some people do. Some people do the same thing every day, but a lot of people I think don't. And so it was really, really cool. So it's a little detail, but I definitely was appreciative of that. So, moving on to our next main character, it'll be Usuai Hara. She is the very serious, strict student council president. She's very cold. She is very, very cold. But it's important to realize that with Yuzu, a lot of her emotions is very much on the surface. Not always true. There is a lot that she, that's like, that she buries and stuff. But there is a lot of her emotions and stuff is really easy to read on the surface. With May, it is not like that at all. She is very much buries everything. And so at first, it looks like she's being a jerk. And honestly, she is. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I would, if you're watching this review before you're watching the anime and you haven't seen it already, I would encourage you that if you are interested in this type of anime, go ahead and watch it, but be patient with May because there's things going on under the surface. She's not as mean as she appears to be earlier on, so I would just encourage you to look past it because by the end, I think you'll have a better understanding of what May is really like and all of that. But anyway, May buries a lot of her emotion and stuff. She's very, very what's the word? Very reserved, very quiet, and she is obviously Yuzu's love interest, and they're both love interests with each other, obviously, and so the anime is obviously about them. So they are the only two that are really labeled main characters, but as far as other characters are concerned, there is a few supporting characters. The first one is Harumi Taniguchi. I'm so sorry if I'm crushing that name. Harumi is Yuzu's best friend, and you'll see her quite a bit throughout the anime. And honestly, she's awesome. She supports Yuzu and is like Yuzu's soundboard. So Yuzu bounces off a lot of what's going wrong in her life off of her friend, and her friend Harumi is incredibly supportive and just has her back the whole way, and it's really cool because it's just like she's like the best friend ever. So she is super awesome, and of course there'll be an arrow or a picture showing her who she is, so I don't necessarily have to describe her. But anyway, the next character, she is absolutely my least favorite character in this whole anime. She drives me nuts. I don't like her. Is Matsuri. Matsuri is someone that was a childhood friend of Yuzu before, obviously back when they were kids. Matsuri, I don't like her. There is a drama a little past the midway point, I think, where drama revolves around her and then Mei and Yuzu, and I don't like it. I do not like her. You'll see why, but she is the pink-haired anime character. She has the headphones around her neck neck all the time. She's irritating. I'm not even gonna go into why, because there'll be all these spoilers about it. So if you want to know why she's irritating, watch the anime. Anyway, but I don't like her. So then the last real supporting sort of important character is Himiko. Himiko is Mei's childhood friend, and she has a big old crush on Mei, and she's obsessed with her. And it's not like over the top obsession. I mean, she's just always competing with Yuzu for Mei's attention, and you know, it's like sort of some of your more or less your sort of comic relief. But there is serious stuff that follows her, and ultimately she is a good person, and she really does want what's best for Mei and all that jazz. But yeah, so there you go, and she's the one that has like the curly, like, I don't know what you would call that, pigtails, I guess, character, and there'll be an arrow or something pointing to her. Now, there are a few other supporting characters. The last two that I would say are fairly important, because at the very end they matter, I guess. So the last two characters are Nina and Sarah. They are both sisters. Nina is the younger sister, even though she's like twice Sarah's size. And she has like the ribbon or bow, or I think it's a ribbon, tied into her hair. And then there is Sarah. She is Nina's older sister, and they matter at the last like 2 episodes or something at the very end, or last 2 or 3 at the very end. And they matter because it's finally what gets a lot of things resolved that I'm not going to go into for spoiler reasons. But they are important. They wear like the green uniform, so the picture is honestly too small to really get a good look at, so I can't tell you what color. It's like whitish or something hair for both of them, and again, I am colorblind, so it's a little hard to tell. But anyway, and so they're the last 2 characters. I'm not going to go very heavily into them, because they are also supporting characters, and they only really matter at the end, and you'll get an idea of who they are if you watch it. But basically, the really characters you should keep an eye on are Yuzu and Mei. Everyone else will fall into place. You'll see who they are, but Mei and Yuzu are what is important. So as far as favorite characters are concerned, obviously it's Yuzu and Mei. That's very self-explanatory. For least favorite character, definitely is Matsuri. She drives me nuts, and I do not like her. But going into animation and music, so the animation in this anime is so good. It is very well animated. Everything is really sharp. It's really detailed. It definitely has the more mature, updated, not updated, but it has like the mature art style of an anime that's definitely very serious. We've talked about this before, where I compare a lot of anime to Kokoro Connect, which I have done a review on, because that was at the time the first anime that I had seen that was very serious, like topics and issues, while still being well animated. And so because before then I had seen both, like drama heavy anime that were serious, and then fluffy anime that were more goofy, and the art styles tend to reflect both of those things. And so this one is another one of, it goes under the list of anime that has what I call the Kokoro Connect syndrome, where basically it's well animated, it has the serious art style, and it's well animated. It's really pretty to look at while still reflecting like an older, mature topic. And I liked that, and that's my favorite thing ever, and it is really well animated and really pretty to look at. The opening song is a banger, by the way. The opening song is so catchy that I'm probably gonna see if I can find it and add it to my music list. Anyway, and so the opening song is really, really good. The closing, both the songs were good. The opening one is just good enough that you would want to listen to it more often than watching the anime every once in a while. But anyway, and they were all very, very good. So as far as our final rating and recommendation goes, getting into it now. As far as rating goes, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. Very good. This anime made no mistakes worth noting, and is definitely worth a buy. So that should be no surprise. Obviously, most of my anime gets that 5 out of 5 rating, but this one's no exception. It's just really, really good. And as far as recommendation, of course, I do recommend it. If you are a fan of, Yuri, Shoujo Ai, or, romance anime, I 100% recommend it. You gotta check it out. If you are a fan of those things like I am, then it will make a fine addition to your collection, and it's very, very good. As long as you don't mind drama. If having drama but it does end well is good enough for you, then you're probably gonna like this anime. So I do 100% recommend it. Anyway, but that is gonna call it for this positive anime review. It feels good to be hopping back on the train. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these, so it was a little rocky, but I think we got through it, especially after I got into it. The beginning was maybe not perfect, but anyway, not the point. So right after this, I will be recording, I think it's part 5 of our Bounty Hunter story in the Old Republic. I think that's part 5. And I will be recording that right after this, and there will probably be no battle for Rise of the Witch King going up today. I've done a lot of those recently, and and there's a lot of crap I have to get done, and so I don't want to like overload myself with videos and editing, because then there'll be no time for like all the job hunting I should be doing later. But anyway, as far as the weekend is concerned, I don't know if it's going to be a recording weekend or not. There's a couple things I have going on Saturday and Sunday in the morning. I don't know how long those are going to be, and so I don't know. Basically, it's Saturday. I don't record on Sundays, but most of the time. Anyway, and so I don't know if Saturday will be a recording day for me or not, so you can stay tuned. If not, then I will see you for the next video or on Monday. So something like that. We'll have to see what happens as far as recording is concerned. Anyway, that is going to call it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, it is Darth Bullwinkle here.
You want to know what I know? Two wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left. That's what I know. Oh man, I can use the Force. I'm a Jedi, Mom.
You like landed on my face, and not in a fun way. No, I'm kidding. The drawbridge is the least of our concerns at this particular moment.
Oh wow, they actually are violent. What a nice change of scenery. It's easier to do something about the flat guns when I'm not being chased by every German fighter in freaking Germany! Something large has my number, and he's calling me for a date. I'm not interested. Aw. Thanks, creepy computer mom. Andronicus, you're in my dream too. Let's be honest though, you're always in my dreams. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.